career is a series of choices, but how do you choose well? In this 6-part summer mini-series, Career Clarity, we'll give you a simple, powerful career navigation system to help you define what really matters, reflect on what's working, and take action towards a more fulfilling career that fits you. In episode 1, we'll explore what it means to truly own your 80,000 working hours. In episode 2, we'll uncover insights from key moments in your story so far. Episode 3, you'll be discovering your unique career equation, the formula for your thriving zone. In episode 4, we'll help you design your future using a personal career design statement. And in episode 5, we'll define the right kind of goal, whether that's progress, development, or learning. And in our final episode, episode 6, we'll show you how to keep momentum and overcome the blockers that stop most people in their tracks. Each episode is around 20 minutes, short enough for bite-sized learning, but provides a great opportunity for valuable reflections. They're each packed with exercises, reflection prompts, and practical tools to help you move forward. So let's get started.
You'll spend 80,000 hours at work. You're here because you want those hours to count. Hi, I'm Zoe Schofield.
And I'm Erica Sosner. A warm welcome to the Career Equation podcast. On this podcast, we take time out from our award-winning careers consultancy to share a game-changing formula to help you solve the sum of your life.
Each week, we and our guests use the career equation to explore their story so far and help them unlock the secrets of a fulfilling career.
Zoe, it's our summertime series. I'm very excited because we are putting together our first ever episode today of the Career Clarity mini-series here on the Career Equation podcast, where we are here to help you take ownership of your career and design work that really fits you, not the other way around. And we're your hosts, Erica Sosner and Zoe Schofield. We're both career coaches and expert career navigators. And most importantly, we're big fans of anyone who wants to explore gaining more from their working life than just getting through the week. Now, this is episode 1, and it's a big one because today we're talking about time, and more specifically about the 80,000 hours that make up your working life and how you can get super clear about what matters to you most in the way that you use that time. Now, remember, throughout this series, you can pause the podcast to do the work that we're suggesting or the thinking, doing it as you go, or you can listen to it in full and then just replay, do the pausing and thinking, whatever works for you. There is a workbook in the show notes if you would like to access that. That gives you a chance to really go deep dive, but whatever works best for you. So the clock is ticking and let's get started. Welcome.
If you work full-time from your early 20s until retirement, do you know that you're going to spend around 80,000 hours at work? Let me just say that again. 80,000 hours. That is more time than most of us will spend with our families, our nearest and dearest people in our lives. More time than we'll spend sleeping. I guess there's some people who might disagree with that. And there's more time than we'll spend on our hobbies, our Netflix binges, or lying on the sofa with the dog on our chest. All of that great stuff. And the strange thing is that we often spend way more time planning for like a 2-week holiday than we do for those 80,000 hours. Think about that in relation to your own life. How much time do you put into planning for other things? Do you put any time into your 80,000 hours of planning at all? Just take a moment to think about that. So the question we really want to be asking you today is, are you owning those 80,000 hours, or are they owning you right now?
And the question really to answer around this is, did you fall into your career? When we run the workshops, we often start by asking people a really simple question, and that is, did you fall into your career? And the reason for that is that the truth is that most people did. They fell into their career rather than chose it, not because they weren't ambitious, not because they didn't care about what they were doing, but firstly, because mainstream education just doesn't really help you make the connection between who lives inside and the changing world of work. It doesn't help you to align your personal uniqueness with all of the choices, arrays, and opportunities out there in the world. I mean, how do you know what to do in terms of work if you're good at maths or at science or at history? The whole curriculum doesn't line up with what we call work and work skills. There's a real gap, both in terms of the self-knowledge education that you need to be able to join the dots, but also in the curriculum itself, aligning in a sort of clear and transparent way with the world of work. So if you fell into your career rather than chose it, if you were nodding along, I just want to tell you that you're not alone. In a workshop room, 90% of people will tell us, I kind of fell. I did my best based on the knowledge and insight that I had at the time. Now, some of us are lucky in that we have a really clear idea of the profession we want to be in from an early age. We exploded out of the womb knowing we wanted to be a lawyer, and the reality of that profession happens to align with exactly how we imagined it when we were a young person. But for many, many more of us, we're still feeling our way into what's the right kind of sphere. And for still more of us, we felt like we just needed to start somewhere and sort of shuffle along, working out whether that work is right for us as we go. Now, of course, all of those experiences in the world of work have value. But what we want to support you to do through the Career Clarity course is to be able to go, what are the components that make me? And am I now in alignment with those in terms of the work that I choose? Because the more that you understand what your criteria is and how you're designed, the more empowered and informed you can be to make good quality decisions. And then add on top of that, that the recent proliferation of tech and AI and the explosion of new jobs that's happened as a result of the technical industrial revolution that we're in, the new job titles, the new roles, the new skills that didn't even exist perhaps when you were in mainstream education. And add that on top. And it's not surprising that we're feeling really overwhelmed about how do I navigate skillfully through my work, through my choices in a way that really enables people to have confidence about the decisions that you are making. And that's really what this workshop and what this time together is going to give you. And without a career navigation system, be it the career equation or insert other here, it's kind of like going on a hike with no map and just following the person in front. Like you might end up somewhere interesting. You might be somewhere with a great view, or you might just end up completely lost, exhausted, and wondering why your boots are full of blisters.
Absolutely. I definitely did follow other people without a map. I definitely did. That's a good point, Erica. But what we call this is career drift, where your working life unfolds without a conscious plan. And that's totally normal, but it's not the only option. There is an alternative, and that's where we call career design. It doesn't necessarily mean you know exactly what job you want in 5 years, but what it does mean is that you're going to get clear on who you are from the inside out, what matters to you, and how you want to feel in your work. It's about becoming the designer of your career, not just, I guess, a sort of passenger on this journey. And the first sort of step in that shift is defining one very important word, and that's success. What we want to really understand is, what does success mean to you? What does career success mean to you? Just take a second to let that really sit with you. Not just the success that perhaps your parents or your family wanted for you, not the success that your boss wants for you, not what LinkedIn or other social media platforms say that you should want, and not the success that perhaps you imagined years ago. But you right now, in your skin, what does a successful working life really look and feel like? And how would you know that you are successful? What would those measures of success be? What would be those metrics?
If you want to get clearer on your definition of success, or if you're realizing that it's time to make a real shift, we're here to help. You can book a free one-to-one intro coaching session with Zoe or I. No pressure, just a real conversation. The link's in the show notes. And we all carry inside of us these success scripts, these kind of internalized stories about what a good career is, what a good life is, and how we should measure it. And these scripts often come from childhood or from school or from culture or our early workplaces. So they could be things like success means having status and a title and lots of money and power. It could be that it means never being out of work. It could be success means doing something impressive that other people are impressed by. Success means earning loads of money and cash, right? And, I know for myself that my parents are both first generation migrants. They gave up a lot for me to come here, and I'm a kind of third culture kid. So for them, Their influence on me around success was that you should be in a professional career, that it should be something quite recognizable, ideally lawyer, doctor, engineer, insert established career profession here. And that you should enjoy it as well. They were both quite entrepreneurial people and they did things that they were interested in. But there was certainly some pressures and expectations around what was an appropriate career and what wasn't. So first of all, we want you to just stop and give some time to, how do I define success in my career? Where did that definition come from? And is it mine? Because we are bombarded, whether it's by family or social media or our peers or the organization that we're in, with a sort of huge deluge of definitions and versions for success. But what we want to make sure is that your success script is really true to you, so that you are designing work and making choices about work that are informed by your own definition of success. Because what if your current script is outdated? Or if it was never really yours in the first place? If we live from both of those places and define our success and our career plans accordingly, we're not going to experience the satisfaction that truly comes from being aligned between what you're good at, what you're up to, what your values are, and the work that you're doing. So if your definition of success is based on someone else's values, no amount of achievement will ever feel satisfying. It's like climbing a ladder and then only to realize it's just leaning against the wrong wall. So a reflection exercise for you. Let's really get personal and just have a think about, let's say, the last 3 to 5 years. When did you feel most proud of your work? What were you up to? Who were you with? What were you doing? And why did it matter? Number 2, when did you feel most yourself at work? When you were really in alignment between who you are and what you're up to, and that was flourishing and thriving and impactful and positive. And number 3, when did you feel most disconnected? Like you were performing a version of yourself just to get through the day, like what you were being asked to do or the environment or the way you were doing it was just completely exhausting. All of these moments are clues for you. They reveal the ingredients of your version of success. So let's take some time this week really reflecting on what we mean, what you mean, what you really mean when you talk about success.
And that's the key to this episode. And it's the start of our 6-episode career clarity journey, because before you can design what's next, you really have to be super clear about what matters most right now. And without that clarity, you're in danger then of following someone else's vision of success. So think of it, if you like, as a sort of shopping list of negotiables and non-negotiables. In order for you to feel successful in your work right now, what are the success factors, the sort of measures? If you think much like when we look for a new home, we have a criteria by which we want to measure. Perhaps you need it to have a beautiful garden for the family to enjoy, or a space to park so you can unload the car easily, or somewhere to store the e-bike, or a second bedroom for a growing family. These are all kind of factors of success when we're looking for a new home. So we want to apply that as your factors of success for your career. So our invitation is to take 10 or 15 minutes and ask yourself, what does success feel like for me? Not just look like on paper. What does success feel like for me? And also, what are your measures of success? What things do you need to feel or see or experience to know that your work has meaning and is making a difference in some kind of way? This is the foundation of this work, helping you to understand the impact element of your career sweet spot. Because once you define success on your term, well, everything else, your choices, your goals, your boundaries become a lot easier to navigate.
And listen, one final thought. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I've already used up half my 80,000 hours and I still have no idea what I'm doing and where I'm going, and I'm burnt out and worried and stressed, I just want you to hear this. It is not too late. It is never too late. For so many of us, the reason that I created the Career Equation and do this work is that we didn't have that navigation system. And the best time to plant a tree is obviously 20 years ago, but the next best time is now, right? You have got time. And even if you're 20 years in, the next 10 or 15, 20 years can be the most fulfilling part of your career if you choose to step into ownership now. We can use these tools to fill that gap around, how do I make a great decision and to be really intentional. So this is not about throwing everything away. It's about refining, reviewing, realigning, and reimagining so that you can be on course. There will always be times when you're feeling off course around your career, but this program and these tools are going to allow you to really quickly hone in and course correct so that you're in your sweet spot more of the time. And in the 21st century world of work, this is never more important because agility, responsiveness is going to become very, very important for tuning in to what's going to become a more frequently mobile, shorter, project-based environment and potentially more competitive environment as well. So the more that you can know about who you are, how you're designed, how you measure success, and how to use these tools to really hone in on doing great work and making great choices, the happier you're going to be. And we're all likely to be working for longer than ever. So there is time, there is space, and there is always an opportunity to choose again. You'll hear throughout this podcast many, many stories of people in their third age starting something new. So please don't feel you're behind. You're in exactly the right place, and we're going to do some great work together.
So wrapping up this first episode in this mini-series, let's just kind of recap on what we've covered today. A reminder that most of us fell into our careers, but we don't have to stay there. That 80,000 hours is a lot, but it's worth pausing to make sure we're making whatever's left of our 80,000 count. Success is not a one-size-fits-all. You get to define it yourself. You get to choose what success looks and feels like for you. And that you're not behind. It's never too late to choose differently. And in our next episode, we're going to go deeper into your career story. And just like with our guests on the podcast, we're going to get you exploring 4 key moments that reveal your natural strengths, passions, and patterns. So until then, keep owning your time and noticing what matters to you. Your career matters. You matter.
See you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Career Equation podcast. Stay connected with us on socials for more career insights, behind-the-scenes moments, and updates on upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to work with us, visit the Career Equation website or click the links in the show notes. Remember, the Career Equation isn't just a podcast, it's a journey towards unlocking your full potential, enjoying your life, and doing remarkable stuff. And don't forget to share your thoughts and feedback with us. Your input shapes the future of our show. Until next time, keep solving those career equations and pursuing your path to success. This is Erica Sosa and Zoe Schofield. Signing off.